Hello guys and welcome back to Champions League predictions, and this is it, the final games of the new Champions League phase, and there is so much to play for. It's a big one today. Before we get into the predictions, first of all, let's smash the like target, 2,000 likes. It takes 2 seconds to hit the like button, and on top of that, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We're so close to 90,000 now, so get involved and support us. We will be back for Champions League predictions when we get to the knockout stages in a couple of weeks. But like I say guys, there's some big games coming today, so make sure to share your predictions down in the comments, and without further ado, let's get into the games. This will be mental. So then, we start at Villa Park for Aston Villa versus Celtic. It's the Battle of Britain. We had one of these in the Europa League last week when Manchester United took on Rangers, and I'm sure there's going to be a crazy atmosphere at Villa Park because these are two very passionate fan bases. As for the game itself, there's a lot to play for. Both Aston Villa and Celtic have secured at least a playoff place, but with a win, Aston Villa should secure a top 8 place, which means qualification straight into the round of 16, and they wouldn't have to be in the playoffs. Also, if Celtic win, there is a possibility they could still finish in the top 8, which is incredible. It's more likely that Aston Villa will get in there, but like I say, let's just see who wins this game. I've got to be honest, if it was at Celtic Park, I might fancy Celtic a bit more, but with it being at Villa Park, I expect Villa might just be able to get the result over the line. They've been really good at home in the Champions League, and Celtic only just got the job done against Young Boys last week, but fair play to them for still at least making the playoffs. I think it's going to be great to see how far Celtic can get. As for a prediction, I reckon Celtic might score, and like I say, it'll be a crazy atmosphere, but I have a feeling Aston Villa might just secure a top 8 place. Villa 2, Celtic 1 is my prediction. A big game with a lot riding on it, and I'm looking forward to it. Do share your thoughts down in the comments for Aston Villa versus Celtic. Next then, we go to Barcelona versus Atalanta, and Barcelona have already secured their qualification in that top 8. What a game last week against Benfica. 5-4, an incredible comeback and a dramatic last minute where Benfica thought they'd get a penalty and Barcelona snatched the game. They've been great to watch, so many goals going in, but because they're already qualified, will they be at their best? I'm not sure. They might rotate, they might rest a few players. As for Atalanta, they need a win to secure that top 8 place. They've been great, but they do need to get the win to get over the line. But it's going to be difficult away at Barcelona. I think Barcelona might win and do some damage to Atalanta, which might mean that Atalanta could finish in the playoffs instead. I'm going to say Barcelona 2, Atalanta 1 as my prediction. Barcelona have been fantastic, and if they win and Liverpool lose, Barcelona could still finish top of this league. The next game is Bayer Leverkusen versus Sparta Prague, and Sparta Prague are already out. They've been eliminated. They've conceded 19 goals, by the way, so they come here with nothing to play for but pride, whereas Bayer Leverkusen are 8th and need to win to secure that top 8 place. But it's really interesting because the goal difference could be really crucial at the end of the 8 games in the Champions League table. Bayer Leverkusen could win and still not make the top 8, if that makes sense. It's really weird. I think they are going to win, and I think they will have enough to get over the line, because I'm going to go for another big win for their goal difference to go up. And like I say, they've been great. Florian Wirtz has been fantastic. Xabi Alonso obviously doing great. Going to go Bayer Leverkusen 3. Sparta Prague 0 as my prediction, and like I say, I think Bayer Leverkusen will finish in that top 8. Share your thoughts down in the comments. The next game is at the Allianz as Bayern Munich take on Slovan Bratislava. Slovan Bratislava are already eliminated. They've lost all 7 games and they've conceded 24 goals in 7 games as well. Bayern Munich, on the other hand, are 15th, and they can still finish in that top 8 if they win and other results go their way. But they might need to win heavy. It might come down to goal difference. With the fixture being at home against a team already eliminated in Slovan Bratislava, I think Bayern Munich will win, and they'll win heavy and give themselves a good chance of finishing in that top 8. Going to go Bayern Munich 5, Slovan Bratislava 0. I'm really going heavy here. I think Harry Kane will get a few more goals, and I think Bayern Munich will end with a big win. Next up, Borussia Dortmund take on Shakhtar Donetsk. Interesting this game because they both still have something to play for. Borussia Dortmund are in a similar position to Bayern Munich where if they win it might get them top 8, but it could come down to goal difference. As for Shakhtar Donetsk, they're 27th and they must win to have any chance of making the playoffs, but even then their chances are very slim, and they have to win this game, which just doesn't look easy. I think they're going to lose, and I think Borussia Dortmund will get another big win to give themselves a good chance of finishing in that top 8. Going to go Borussia Dortmund 4, Shakhtar Donetsk 1. Sorry Shakhtar Donetsk, but I think Dortmund will get the win, and I think they might still sneak into that top 8, but like I say, this is going to be really, really close. It's going to be interesting to see. Next then, and we go to Brest versus Real Madrid. Now Brest are in 13th place, Real Madrid are 16th, and both of these teams have already at least secured a playoff place, but a win for either of them could still get them into that top 8. So it's a big game, and you could just see Real Madrid doing it. I said this previously, that when it really matters, they finally turn up, even if they haven't been at their best so far. Brest have been decent. They've scored 10, they've conceded 8, so there's not a lot of goals going in. Real Madrid have scored 17 goals in the Champions League so far though, so I think they might just have enough to break Brest down. I'm going to go Brest 1, Real Madrid 3 as my prediction. And like I say, will Real Madrid sneak into that top 8? Maybe. I think they'll win this game though. Do share your thoughts down in the comments. The next game is between Dynamo Zagreb and AC Milan. Dynamo Zagreb are 26th and they must win to have any chance of finishing in the playoffs. Whereas AC Milan, a win will secure them a top 8 place because they are 6th at the moment. A draw might be enough for AC Milan. A draw could be enough, it might not be. It would depend on other results, but I don't think they're going to draw. I think AC Milan are going to win. I think Milan have been really impressive in the Champions League so far, and I'm going to go Dynamo Zagreb 1, AC Milan 2 as my prediction. I think Milan will get it over the line, and to finish in the top 8 is a really good achievement, to be fair to them. So I think AC Milan will get the job done. The next game then is in Spain. We go to Girona versus Arsenal. Girona are already eliminated. They've won 1 but lost 6 of their 7 games. As for Arsenal, a draw will be enough to secure them a place in that top 8. But I think they're going to win. They've only conceded 2 goals. Arsenal have been really solid in the Champions League, and who knows? Could Arsenal do it? You know, we've mentioned before that Arsenal are a big club, but they've not won the Champions League. It might be possible that they could get quite far. I'm going to go for them to win this game. I think it'll be low scoring. I'm going to say Girona 0, Arsenal 2, and I think Arsenal will finish in the top 3. I think they're going straight through to the round of 16. The next game then is at Inter Milan. They take on Monaco. Inter Milan are 4th. They've only conceded 1 goal in 7 games. They've been so good defensively, and a draw will be enough to secure them top 8. So they only need to draw, but I think they might win. Monaco have been decent though. They're 10th. And a win should get them into the top 8. Monaco are currently 10th with 13 points, but Bayer Leverkusen are 8th with 13 points. So it really could come down to goal difference. That said, I think this is a really difficult game for Monaco, and I think Inter Milan will win and get a clean sheet. So I'm going to say 1-0 to Inter Milan, which, as I said earlier, will be more than enough to get them finishing in that top 8. I think Inter Milan are going to win. Sticking in Italy, we go to Juventus versus Benfica. A good game. 17th v 21st. They've both still got something to play for. Juventus could still finish in the top 8 with a win. As for Benfica, they might need a draw to secure their place in the playoffs, depending on other results. So there's a lot to play for. I think Juventus might just get the job done though. Juventus have only conceded 5 goals in the Champions League so far. Benfica were really entertaining against Barcelona, but defensively it was chaos. I think Juventus might just beat them 2-1. That's my prediction, and Juventus might still finish in that top 8. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. The next game is between Lille and Feyenoord, and look at where they are in the table. Lille are 12th, Feyenoord are 11th, and either of them might still finish in that top 8. So, both can make the top 8 with a win, and both are currently on 13 points with a +2 goal difference. They've both got similar records. A draw will probably be no good for either team, so they've both got to go out and win this game. I don't know. I think it would be typical if in a game where both need to win, it just finishes as a draw, but I'm not sure. I might just go for Lille. Maybe Jonathan David plays his part and maybe they just have enough to get this over the line and win this. Let's go Lille 2, Feyenoord 1. But they've both been pretty good and you could flip a coin for that game. But I'm just going to back Lille. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments. The next game then is at the Etihad and it's Manchester City versus Club Brugge. Ooh, how did Manchester City get into this position? They are currently 25th, but despite not being very good in the Champions League, or should I say just not being very consistent, they can still get through with a win. It's set up quite nicely because Club Brugge are currently 20th and Manchester City only need to overtake one team to get into the playoffs, and they would overtake Club Brugge if they win. As for Club Brugge, a draw would confirm their place in the playoffs. They might still be okay if they lose, but that would depend on other results. I'm going to go for Man City. Manchester City know that if they don't win, they are out. It would be crazy to see them go out so early. I just think they're going to get it done. I'm going to say Man City 2, Club Brugge 0. I just think Manchester City will at least get a playoff place, but goodness me, it was crazy last week against PSG, and I can't believe it's coming down to the final game. Let me know your thoughts on that game at the Etihad. The next one then is at PSV. They take on Liverpool, and Liverpool are already through. They don't really have anything to play for, but they are going for records here. Remember, this is the first time we've had a Champions League phase, and Liverpool could be the first team to win the league phase. And they could go out and win 8 out of 8 games. But PSV are in a position where they've confirmed their place in the playoffs, and right now on 11 points, they could still technically finish in the top 8 with a win, but they'd probably need too many results to go their way for it to be considered realistic. I'm going to go for Liverpool. Liverpool have been brilliant, and yes, this game might not mean that much to them, but like I say, they could secure top spot and 8 wins out of 8, so I think they might. PSV 1, Liverpool 2. I'm going to back Liverpool, and I said it last week, I'm going to say it again. Liverpool have got to be the favourites to win the Champions League right now. On to the next game then, and we have RB Salzburg versus Atletico Madrid. RB Salzburg are another team that are already eliminated, 34th. They've only won 1, they've lost 6, and they've conceded 23 goals in the Champions League phase. As for Atletico Madrid, they are currently 5th, and a win will definitely secure a top 8 finish. A draw could be enough, but look at the difference in these two. I don't think it's going to be a draw. I think Atletico Madrid are going to get the win that will secure them a place in the round of 16. RB Salzburg 0, Atletico Madrid 2. I just think Atletico Madrid have got way too much and they'll get a couple goals. It could be more, but I'll just say 2-0. Let me know your thoughts. Next up, we go to Sporting versus Bologna. It's a big game for Sporting because they still haven't confirmed their place in the playoffs. But as for Bologna, they are eliminated. Bologna are out. They've only scored 3 goals, but to be fair, they've only conceded 8. So defensively, they've not even been that bad. But either way, they are already eliminated. As for Sporting, they are currently 23rd, and a win will mathematically secure their place in the playoffs. It's weird, isn't it, with Sporting? They've been really good, but the form has dried up, and it has obviously happened at the same time with the managerial change. It's a home game. They've got Victor Gyökeres, and they're playing a team that have got nothing to play for, so I think Sporting will get the job done. Sporting 2, Bologna 0 is my prediction, and Sporting will go into the playoffs. Let me know your thoughts. Next up then, and we have Sturm Graz versus RB Leipzig, and this game actually doesn't matter because they've both already been eliminated. It's a dead rubber, this game. It's difficult to predict, but let's have some fun. Sturm Graz have only scored 4 goals. They've conceded 14. Leipzig have scored 8. They've conceded 14. Both have only won 1 game. They've both lost 6 out of 7. It would be typical if this finishes 0-0, but I think Leipzig will have enough to just win this. So I will say Sturm Graz 0, RB Leipzig 1. But they're not really playing for much. The only thing on the line is pride. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Next up then, and we have Stuttgart versus PSG. This is a big game. Both still have something to play for. PSG with a dramatic win against Manchester City last week, winning 4-2. They are 22nd. Stuttgart are 24th. Both are on 10 points. A win will secure the playoffs. The loser of this game is at risk of elimination. If PSG draw, they are through, but the same can't be said for Stuttgart. It might be enough, but it might not be. It does depend on the other results. As for my prediction, I'm going to say Stuttgart 1, PSG 2, which would put Stuttgart at some risk of elimination, but I just think PSG were really good against Manchester City, and I can see them following up that result with another win, and maybe they might still get quite far in the Champions League. We'll see, but it really will be interesting for these two as they're going to be looking at other results. The final game then, and it's another dead rubber as Young Boys take on Red Star Belgrade. Both teams are already eliminated. Young Boys are 36th. They've lost every game. They've been the worst team. They've only scored 3 goals and they've conceded 23. As for Red Star Belgrade, they have won 1 game, but they've still lost 6 and conceded 22. Young Boys have the home advantage, and seeing as Red Star Belgrade have nothing to play for, I'm going to give Young Boys the win, which means that they wouldn't finish bottom. So let's go Young Boys 2, Red Star Belgrade 1 as my prediction. Go on, let's just give them the win. But yeah, once again, there's not a lot to play for. And there you go. That wraps up today's video. As I say, there's a couple of games where there isn't much to play for, but most of the games have a lot riding on them. And it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. Do let me know your predictions down in the comments, guys. Be sure to support this video by dropping a like and be sure to subscribe. We're so close to 90,000 subscribers, so do get involved and support us. And we will be back predicting Champions League predictions for the knockout stages. I'll see you there. Take care. Peace out.